Hey, ADNC family. Hope all is well. It's Emma Ansah here, and I am live. It is Monday, the top of the week. I hope everybody had a good weekend. Before we get started and while we wait for everybody to join, I just want to remind you if you have not downloaded the African Diaspora News Channel app, please make sure you do so. Head over to your Google or Apple store, download that app. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. So, today's topic. So, family, the folks are mad. The folks are mad here in Canada. They are big mad. They are mad at the fact that this immigration situation here is out of control. They are not happy. So, they had a protest, a rally, a march, whatever you want to call it, that happened downtown Toronto this past Saturday, and it was head up by a man by the name of Joe Anijar. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Let us look at the call out that he put out on his TikTok page, and then we'll look at some clips of what actually happened at the march. And then we'll look at what's really going on with the deportation. How many people are being deported? How many people are set to be deported? And what all that looks like with the Liberal government's attempt to really try to fix the colossal mess that they made, if you will. So let's just look at what Joe had to say initially.
Hey guys, just wanted to give you guys some information about the upcoming event in Toronto. The Canada First Movement Stop Mass Immigration Rally will be hitting Nathan Phillips Square. I just want to give you kind of a timeline of what to expect.
I just want to pause for a second to my American brothers and sisters. Did you happen to notice that he's wearing a hat that says "Make Canada Great Again"? Remind you of anything? Just saying. Let us keep watching.
So it starts at 1 p.m., so I would hope that everyone arrives before that time. That's the point. Be on time, show up, and then once everyone starts to roll in, we're going to have speeches from probably 1:20-ish to 1:30 start. We're going to have several different speakers. We're going to have someone singing "O Canada" and some other songs. It's going to be very uplifting. And then once we get through the speeches, there's going to be a march on the streets of Toronto. So the route is going to be pretty exciting. I always come with nice routes, and I hope that everyone's gearing up for this, guys. This is an event, and don't give me the fact that you got to work or, it's cold. I mean, we thrive in the cold, guys. Remember the convoy? I sure do. Minus 31, living the absolute dream. So, guys, it's time for all of us here in Toronto to really get going. Let's rally the troops. If you're coming, bring a friend, bring your family. Let's stand up for our country. Let's let people know and put this country on notice that we're not going to accept the flooding of our country. We got to stop.
Uh, by the way, not your country, okay? This is the indigenous people's land, but just saying, let us continue.
Mass immigration, and we need to send these people back home. If you can't respect our country and our way of life, it's a no-go for you guys. You'll be on the list to be sent back home, and that's just it. So guys, it's time to show up, time to stand up for our country, and it's time to make some noise. 2026, let's do something big, guys. Let's do something massive. And it's going to take all of us. Me, you, and the rest of the patriots in this country. So let's band together, shoulder to shoulder, and let's make this happen. Canada First, January 10th, on the Saturday, 1 p.m. Be there, and let's go.
So that was about all that I can take. So as I said, his name is Joe Anijar, and he is the ringleader of these mass rallies and marches that take place in Canada. This is their sixth one. I will say this before I play some of the clips that happen. I will say this: the immigration situation in Canada is out of control. It 100% is. I agree with him there. It is. It is the liberals' fault. It is their fault that it is in this condition. And they are doing the most to try to stop the bleeding, which we will go over a bit later. But I just want to say I agree there. Now, let's look at some of the things that went down at the march. It started off this way.
What's going on over there? Please, let them out. It's legal in Canada. They consent. Keep an eye.
Okay, so as you can see, it got a little bit unruly. There was some violence and there were multiple arrests that happened. Okay. Also, Antifa showed up. And for those who don't know who Antifa is, they are very much anti-protest people. So they are always ready to come and like do a counter protest. And there were multiple police officers there, as you can see. They were like, we need to come. Okay. One thing I will also note before we go further is I did not see a lot of Black people there. In fact, in a lot of the footage that I saw, I did not see any Black people. The only Black people I saw were like camera people. And there is one brother that I know really well. He's a journalist here in Toronto, Miller TV, who we'll be looking at the footage that he got later as well. But I will say, shout out to the Black people that didn't show up. Shout out to you. To those that did, I didn't see you, don't want to see you, don't even want to talk about it. Mike, thank you, Mike. Mike says, as a white Canadian, I cannot express in words how angry and frustrating it is to see that video. That man is not talking about immigration, he's talking about race. Agree. And then, by the way, as I said, the only thing I agree with is the mass immigration part, because it is kind of out of control. But it's not your country. He's talking about patriots. It's not your country. Go do your history. It's not your country. You want to take your country back. That is right. Antifa is violent and they're always ready. So we're going to watch Antifa and take a look at what was going on there. The police really involved themselves to try and make sure that they contain the situation, because it could get bad really quick.
Oh, holy shit. Holy shit. What the hell's going on? Pay attention, This is crazy. Yep. Didn't expect this. I didn't expect this.
And then there was the standoff.
I didn't say you were.
No, she was following me. Yeah,
You just misunderstood what I said. I just said just be careful you were going backwards. I wanted to
Thank you, sorry. That was wild.
So that was actually tame. I'm going to go back to this one, because this is where a police officer ended up getting hit by somebody, and that person ended up on the ground and probably arrested. As I said, there were multiple arrests. So I'm going to go back to this one and we'll watch that as well.
Holy shit. What the hell's going on?
Pay attention, okay?
This is crazy. Yep. Didn't expect this. I didn't expect this. This is the craziest you've ever seen. Yeah. Holy shit. He hit the cop. Oh my God, he hit the cop. He hit the cop. Holy shit. The guy hit the cop. Back up. Back up. Back up. Holy shit. Move back. Move back. Move back. Move back. Move back. Move back. Push me. This is insane, guys. This is insane.
Akira Crow super chatted $7.
They're playing, they got...
Canada first is good, let the left melt down and fight the cops law.
Holy, this is insane. Whew. This is insane, guys. Oh, look at this. They've got so much going on, man. Violence. Friggin' violence. No, well, I try not to delete it.
I don't even know what they accomplished here, but in any event, I literally want you all to get a good idea of what was going on down there. So I put it in short clips, just so that we can look at just the madness, okay? The madness. Now, talking about not seeing a lot of Black people there, as I mentioned earlier, one of my friends and one of the journalists here in Toronto, Miller TV, his name is Greg, he actually did a short little interview with the organizer of this event, Joe. So let's just look at what him and Joe had to say.
Miller TV here with Joe, the organizer of Take Back Canada protest. What is the end game? What is the result you want from this protest?
Having our government with the idea to put our people and our country first before any other country. It's Canada first. Our needs are first, our people are first, our country first. That's it.
And what do you want Canadians to know who's not here? And how can they, what is the next process? When is the next?
So this is our 6th event today. So I have a website, www.canadafirstmovement.ca. You can check out, keep up to date with events and news and blogs, what's going on with the movement. You can follow me at PuckDaddy93. I'm very active on IG there.
What do you want from this protest?
Having our government.
I'm sorry. Let me just...
CA. You can check out, keep up to date with events and news and blogs, what's going on with the movement. You can follow me at PuckDaddy93.
Did you guys hear that? Did you hear what he said his handle is? He said Puff Daddy 93. I just wanted to pause for that. He said Puff Daddy 93.
Very active on IG there. You want to know what's going on with the movement? Give me a holler. Check me out there.
Where do you think the hate should come from the counter-protesters?
Because they call us what they are. They call us the Nazis and fascists. They're actually the fascists and Nazis.
So he's saying that people are calling the folks the fascists and Nazis, and he's saying the immigrants are the ones that are the fascists and Nazis, as well as the liberal government.
It's like a mirror image, right? That's what they do. And what they do is call you Nazis, so it's justified to bring violence to you.
Yeah.
Right? So we're not that. You've seen this. Yeah. We're not about that.
He says we're not about that. And yes, exactly, Buckhorse. I want to say, who is us? We're not about that, yet you just saw the violence that was going on, right? Okay. A police officer got hit. I mean, the January 6th of it all, right?
We're about bringing attention to stop mass immigration to this country until we can take care of our own, until we can take care of our people and the people that are suffering on our streets.
Thank you very much for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Appreciate Any last message?
Just remember, guys, this is Canada. We got to protect our culture, our identity, our way of life, or we will lose it. If we don't fight for it, it's gone. So Canada first.
Thank you.
Thank you, boss. Are we all marching back there?
Okay, hang on a sec. So big faux nation, you said you think he said puck daddy, like Puck, as in hockey? Okay, I hope so. Let's just see. I thought I heard puff daddy 23, but you might be
That's
right.
it. And what do you want Canadian to know who's not here? And how can they, what is next process? When it is next?
So this is our 6th event today. So I have a website, www.canadafirstmovement.ca. You can check out, keep up to date with events and news and blogs, what's going on with the movement. You can follow me at PuckDaddy93. I'm very active on IG.
Okay, I think you're right. Thank you for clarifying. I was like, did he say puff daddy? 93? Okay, yes. So you're saying that okay. So you're saying that another immigrant is giving him a platform. Okay, well, first of all, I'm not an immigrant, so I don't know if you're talking about me. If you're talking about Greg, he's been getting a lot of heat for going down there and interviewing this man, as a black man, as a Jamaican man. Like, what are you doing down there? But you know what? At the end of the day, why not? We need to get to know what the heck these people are up to. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Would I go there? No. But I'm not going to give Greg heat for doing that. No, no, no. Yes, I know. It's Puck Daddy. I regress. I thought I heard Puff Daddy, so I was about to talk about that. But anyway, I'm glad it's not Puck Daddy. So let me see. Um, yeah, thank you. Greg is not an immigrant either. So people need to stop automatically assuming just because we're black that we're immigrants. There are a lot of black people, by the way, 1.5 million black people living in Canada that were actually born and raised here. So not everybody's an immigrant. So stop that. That is an ignorant comment. Uh, sorry, didn't mean to put that up. Yes. So yeah, that's just cut it out. Cut it out. Cut it out. So you were expecting him to challenge him. Well, listen, he was there to get the facts, to find out what's going on. So now we're going to look at, let's see, what else do I want to show? I wanted to show Joe speaking, but I think that's enough for now. You know what? Yeah. Let us just hear more from Joe. Big old Joe.
You want to know what's going on with the movement? Give me a holler. Check me out there.
Why do
All right. So that's that. I think I'm done with Joe for now. Let's see what you guys have to say before we look at the statistics. So Buckhorse, you say you love New York. Yeah, I love New York too, actually. Yeah, so Vanessa, you're saying he represented the Canadian Black diaspora and asked relevant questions. Yeah, I agree. I'm not mad at him for that. He's getting a lot of heat for it, but Greg, I know Greg, and Greg Miller TV, stop giving him heat. I'm not mad at him for doing it. Not settlers. They are too they too are illegal immigrants. Exactly. And they keep saying our country, our country, it's not your country, Jack. It's not your country. So you said you're from the United States. You're saying he could not try to copy that MAGA hat and copy the Make America Great Again system. Well, yeah. I mean, they also have this other one that's really offensive that I'm not going to repeat, and it's something about making Canada, and it's another horrible, not even worth giving it life to. But this is a thing now. They actually even have merch. They have a whole website, and they have merchandise and all kinds of stuff, but I'm not even going to give that life. I'm not giving it any airplay at all. No, they did not. The indigenous did not invite them. They came and invaded, and now they're trying to drive other immigrants out. Let me just repeat again. I don't have any problem with the fact that there's people that are upset about the mass immigration, and we'll talk about that. But to them, everybody's an immigrant. As you can see, there's already people who are ignorant in the chat talking about you're immigrant, 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 and we're not all immigrants. So that's the problem here. That, to me, it's the ignorance of it, right? Yeah, I agree. There was Greg was the only black journalist, and there were some other journalists that were like more cameramen and probably like written journalists that were there as well. Thank you, Tyrone. I sure am. Oh my goodness. So you said you're sure Puck Daddy hopes that he can transform the black puck to white. Yeah, well, we all know who our originators are of hockey. It is black people, the Colored Hockey League, the inventors of the slap shot, Eddie Martin, the inventors of goaltending, the inventors of the sport in general. Okay. So you say you're not an immigrant. So you're saying why are black people at the top? People they're deporting. We're going to look at the numbers. Black people are there too, yes, but there are other people. So we're going to look at a full report of how many people are being deported and what have you coming soon. I just want to talk to you guys a little bit first. You say you don't know what he's talking about, Buckhorse. I will keep trucking. Thank you, Tyrone. So you said red, red. We really don't care. What's you're saying? So you're saying he represented, yep, not settlers or um he puckers up around Puff. Well, I don't know how much challenging you wanted him to do. He's asking the questions. He's getting the information that we should have. So going in with being cantankerous, I don't think is the right approach. I think I like the way Greg approached it. I like the way Miller TV approached it. You're saying Canada doesn't have a culture. I know they love to say we're our culture. You're taking away our culture. I don't know what culture they speak of. They're in black people's culture big time. Okay. Even using daddy at the end, Puck Daddy. Come on. You know there's some reference to here. Exactly. So Deborah, you're saying I was like, wait, why would he even use that name? Right. Putting daddy at the end. So you're saying let the good times roll. The holidays might be over where you are, but Louisiana party is just getting started. Today is the official start of carnival season. Okay, that's good. Oh my gosh. So you're saying, as for the Canadian Black diaspora, these people, although senseless and baseless, have the courage to stand for themselves and unite. We don't. Yeah, when we do our protests in March, we don't get a lot of Black people showing up. That is facts. And oftentimes people will say stuff like, oh, you didn't advertise. We can spend thousands of dollars, and Vanessa can tell you, she's in the chat, spend thousands of dollars on sponsored ads and everything else about a protest to do with our lives and anti-black history and all that, and nobody turned up, and then they say you didn't protest. This guy just went on his TikTok. He did, and look at the turnout. So the Avalanche Avengers descended big time. Okay. The Eurasian continent is large enough to home all palm colored folk. Yeah. Okay, let's look at some statistics now, and I'll come back to the chat. So we're going to look at what Canada is doing, and maybe some of the folks will calm down and their britches will not be in so much of a knot, because their britches are burned up right now over this. So let's just look at some statistics here. And first we'll talk about what the numbers mean. So they're enforced removals, and these are cases where a removal order is enforced. So this is not voluntary, okay? Then we have removal order types, which are these two: deportation order, which is permanently bars the return unless authorization is granted. Then we have an exclusion order, and that bars the return for 1 year or 5 years for misrepresentation. So we'll get into those two. And then removals in progress. Inventory equals people who can be processed for removal. And the CBSA, which is the Canada Border Services Agency, works to overcome barriers, for example, travel documents. And so the third removal order type is departure order, where you must leave within 30 days. If not, it can become a deportation order. So those are the kind of removal types. And then we go to the total enforced removals, from January 1st to October 31st. And these are the most solid numbers. So that's why I use them. So the total enforced removals so far is 18,785. Now, as far as deportation orders, there's 8,982, exclusion orders 5,821, departure orders 3,982. So it's just important to note that the CBSA's online tables are updated through October 31st. It's not a full calendar, so these can fluctuate, but this is what we have so far, the most solid. So, top 10 citizenships removed. So, these are the ones that have been removed in January. So, we got Mexico at the top. So, somebody was saying Black people are at the top. The ones removed is Mexico at 3,972. Then we have India at 2,831. Then we have Haiti at 2012. Then Colombia at 737. Romania at 672. United States, I'm just wondering who from the United States anyway. I guess Black Americans, 656. Venezuela, 562. China, 385. Nigeria, 366. And then we have Pakistan at 359. So these are the ones where we're removed. Okay. And then so people set to be removed, and these are removals in progress. So the total people in removals in progress inventory is 29,542. And so this means individuals who can be processed for removal. CBSA works to overcome the barriers, as I said, like travel documents, etc. Inventory counts are not guarantees. Some cases can change status over time, but so far, these are the solid numbers. Now let's talk about the top 10 citizenships and removals in progress by nationality. So we got India at the top at 6,515. Then we have Mexico at 4,650. United States again. Who in the United States? 1,704. Then we have China, 1,430. Then we have Nigeria, 974. Colombia, 895. Pakistan, 863, Haiti 741, Brazil 650, and Chile 621. So then we have we're going to go over why some of these removals are pending. So non-compliance, which means they fail to adhere to the requirements of Immigration and Refugee Protection Act. So these are the ones that are pending. We have another 25,786 under non-compliance. And then we have non-compliance for the non-claimants. So the first one was for refugee claimants. The second one is for non-claimants at 1,399. Then we have trans-border criminality, 1,399 as well. And then misrepresentation. So those are people who commit fraud or they are false or misleading information. We got 438 that are in the pending bucket. And then we have a section that's just not captured in the system. That's 287. So they're floating around somewhere. Don't know where they are. Then we have cessation, which is in the process of ending. That's 72. Then we have security grounds, which means terrorism, danger to national security, attempt to overthrow the government, espionage. Those ones fall under those, and there's 69 pending. Organized crime, 38 pending. Others, miscellaneous, 28. Then we have human and international rights violations. We've got 21 people. So these are the people that would be protected. For example, if they were set to be deported, but they're going to a dangerous situation, or they're returning to danger, or they have right to due process. So these are people that are pending, and some of them will fall under the buckets that I've already outlined. So just to say, because people will be like, oh, misinformation, oh, you're lying, whatever. These are the sources. So don't blame Emma. This comes from the Canada Border Services Agency, okay? So nobody accuse me of lying. I just put the information together, but I sourced it from the CBSA, their website, all of that information. Journalists can get this information, and just wanted to debunk that in case anybody had anything to say about it. Okay? So there's some information for you all to see what's going on, including the folks that are so mad. It's in the process. They're also deporting 400 people weekly right now. And they're really trying to clean up their mess. Now, will it clean up their mess? Well, I'll tell you what, as far as the temporary foreign workers, um, a lot of businesses, a lot of businesses who have been taking advantage of the temporary foreign worker program, y'all are in trouble because you have been skimming off the top for a long time and hiring only international students and immigrants and paying them under the table and all that stuff. Your businesses are going to suffer big time unless unless you are willing to hire blue-eyed Billy, the student, blonde-haired blue-eyed Billy, because a lot of the folks are complaining that their teenagers can't get jobs because they're being sucked up by the South Asian community. So just a note for you. Just a note for you. So you're saying the bottom line is that South Asian folks were brought in to fill visible minority quotas. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. And it backfired. Yeah, because unlike Black people, they refuse to assimilate. That is true. Punjab only, must speak Punjab before you can get this job. And hiring, their international students and not hiring anybody else. But they are being deported 400 per week. And this just in. Do you want to know what the quota is for how many people are set to be deported in 2026? 5 million. So be prepared. They're not playing. They are not playing anymore. The CBSA, I guess, would be the equivalent, I think maybe a softer version of ICE in the United States. That's the Canada Border Services officers, I would say. So you're saying exactly, South Asians are the biggest gatekeepers. True. The CBSA has no real authority other than enforcing the financial borders. That's all that makes them real. Yeah, that's why I say they're a softer version of ICE. Canadians wanted to block Black people from the opportunity and growth, and the chicken has come home to roost. Man, they're even, girl, they're even taking our Nigerian people. So far 366 are deported. Now they're deporting another 974. So even our people are being deported. They're not playing around. Everyone tries to be Black. Black's what's new. Yeah. Yeah. So you're saying that FBA stand with ICE. Yep. They're super anti-Black. They are. They are for sure. And by the way, a lot of people are saying things like, "Oh, it's only the South Asian community that these folks are walking around protesting against." No, it's not. No, it's not. You need to not get it twisted, okay? It is not just the South Asian. It's not. If it were up to them, it would be a snow citizen nation, okay? They would want all Black and brown people gone. So it's not just the protest about uh, the South Asian community, because they're not the only immigrants that were led into this country. Were they the majority? Yes, but they are not only protesting about the South Asian community. Okay. So, Vanessa, you're saying these people blinded their eyes to the Jamaican farmers, temporary foreign workers, yeah, who were unalived in Canada. That is true. Yeah, they're trying to block Black people. That is true. That is true. That's why to be honest with you, family, I thought that there would be a lot of Black people at this march. So I'm really happy to know that there were not and to see that there were not. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Lord. Welcome to Canada, family. Welcome to Canada. Oh boy, oh boy. What else are you guys saying? So you're telling, okay, so you're telling, oh, you're getting a little spicy. You're telling the Americans to get out of there. Hey, hey, hey. What's wrong with that? I love my American brothers and sisters. Oh boy. So you say Black Jamaican farmers who unalived on Canadian farms, deplorable conditions. Who speaks on this? Exactly, exactly. The temporary foreign workers that came from Jamaica were treated horribly. They were forced to sleep in horrible conditions with feces overflowing in their toilets. They were abused. They were working like way more hours than they should have, like any human should have. All of that. And there was maybe one report about it, and that was the end of it. And by the way, a lot of these jobs that the folks are complaining about, they wouldn't have taken before. And I won't lie, the South Asian community, when I tell you how they're be owning gas stations, restaurants, like you go anywhere, Tim Hortons, Subway, Quiznos, A&W, pizza joints, Chinese joint, you name it. It'll have an Italian name, and you go in there, it's South Asians. They are dominating, okay? They really are. But my point is that a lot of the jobs that they would take, and I'm also delivery jobs, Uber, Instacart, what's the other one? Amazon. Like a lot of them taken by the South Asian community. Oftentimes, a lot of students wouldn't have taken it. Okay, we cannot deny that. But at the end of the day, the liberal government let them in. They let them in droves. And to be honest with you, I'm really interested to see how this goes with deporting 400 a week, because I really do think a lot of businesses will suffer. You heard it from me here. And I promise you, when I start seeing evidence of that, I'll be back. I'll be back to say, mark this day. And I'll be like, do y'all remember when I said? Yes, you said you're ready with your popcorn. Exactly, because I'm telling you, it's going to happen. So you're saying that they should hold their own? This has nothing to do with, yeah. Well, if you, exactly, exactly. And it has nothing to do with us either. It has nothing to do with us. So you're saying, Vanessa, you're saying get off the continent. The USA and Canada are brothers and sisters, a continent developed through oppression. Indeed. Amen to that. The evil done to black people is being paid forward to these supremacists. Yeah. And you know what else, Vanessa? They're really afraid. They're afraid. They're afraid of the great replacement theory. I'm telling you, that's why we see them marching around. That's why, when have you ever, to my brothers and sisters that live in Canada, when have you ever seen this level of the folks doing what they're doing and even having a Make Canada Great Again hat? When have you ever seen them marching around, them preparing for a race war, them preparing for combat? They're putting signs all over poles and stuff, carrying mass deportation and stuff. When? Never. Not since I've been living here. I've not seen it. It is because of the amount of black and brown people that are in this country, and they are afraid of what they love to call the great replacement theory. Now, just talking about black people, we know how powerful we are. Okay. So if we're building and building and building up, which we need to get better at in this country for sure, it scares the bejesus out of them. Okay. And that is what it's about. Yes, Nova Scotia, black people are cousins of the United States. Indeed, a lot of them came from the United States and made a home for themselves in Nova Scotia. Yes, the birth rate in Canada is also very low. That is true. Their numbers are declining. Indeed. Yeah, they're on their own. They're on their own. That's why black people weren't there. I agree. We're going to just go ahead and sit this out. We're going to just focus on our communities and everything else that's going on here. We're going to focus on building our own institutions. I will say this until thy kingdom come. We are going to focus on all that we need done in our community for our youth, for ourself, for our ancestors, for our elderly, for our brothers and our sisters. We're going to focus on building for us or getting the heck out of this country, period. We're not involving ourselves. But again, leave Greg alone. Leave Miller TV alone. He didn't do anything wrong by going down there and seeing what's up. Nothing wrong with that. Thank you, Vanessa. Vanessa said Black people know their power, but use it to force. What did you say? Use it to force ourselves at the backrest tables. Oh my gosh. Well, listen, some of us do know, and some of us do know our power. We just need to make sure that we unite. So you're saying the Almighty is cleaning this his planet of the infestation. Well, listen, the Almighty is definitely cleaning, and the Almighty is watching. So the folks need to be careful what they're doing. They do. And at the end of the day, you want to make Canada great again. You make Canada great again by, first of all, not being an anti-Black racist. Let's start there. Not racially discriminating us. Stop fighting the Black workers who suffered over 50 years of anti-Black racism. It's time for reparations. It's time to acknowledge that systemic racism exists and start making Black people whole. Start treating us equal. What else? So many things that you need to start doing if you really want to make Canada great again. Okay? Because again, you heard it from me here, and I will be bringing it back. Businesses are going to suffer. Businesses will suffer. I want to see how many Billy the blue-eyed boys and girls are going to go and take these jobs that they're running people out of. I'm waiting. All right. Anyhow, family, I just wanted to show you what went down in Toronto this past weekend. And they said it's their sixth, so I'm sure there'll be more coming up. But this was interesting. This was really interesting to me to watch. And there are some more really interesting things that are going down here in Canada that I will be showing. So keep it locked. I shall be back. But in the meantime, thank you very, very much for hanging out with me for 42 minutes. I appreciate it very much. I will say again, like I said at the top, don't forget to download the African Diaspora News Channel app from your Google or Apple store. You will not be disappointed if you want to see more like this and more exclusive content that you won't see here or anywhere else. Make sure you download that app. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Truth and Black Excellence with Emma Ansah. And also, tune into what everybody else is doing on this channel. Everybody else is crushing it and bringing important news, about our community. So make sure to tune into what everybody else has going on. I'll read a couple more comments before I love you and leave you. Black people need to stop fighting each other, though. How can anyone respect people who don't respect themselves? That is a very, very valid point. We do need to stop fighting each other, all these diaspora wars and what have you. We need to just cut it out. We need to cut it out. And we need to unite. I think it's really important that we know our power and our power in numbers as well. So I agree with you, Vanessa. Thank you for that. We definitely need to really stop fighting each other, stop the backbiting, stop the backstabbing, all of those things. It's just ridiculous and it doesn't benefit us. It benefits the avalanche that you just saw, ascending or ascending or descending, whatever way we want to say it, in Toronto this past weekend. So yeah, I agree with you, Vanessa. Anyhow, thank you so much, family. Have a good rest of your day. I shall see you tomorrow, same time, same channel. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Love you and leave you. Be safe, everyone.